Hey everyone, MD here, and today marks day 300 since Final Fantasy War of the Visions was released on Global. Here at Nerd Night, we like to specialize on advice for free-to-play players and light-spending players. In this video, I'm going to compare my two accounts through 300 days. What I've been calling my primary account, I've spent about $500 on since release, about $400 in the first month of the game's release, and another $100-ish when Dwayne was released. What I've been calling my alternate account, I've only put a $20 Play Store gift card on when Glaciela was released. Let's see how they measure up to one another, and then dive into some of the takeaways. We're going to be primarily focused though on the question, is Final Fantasy War of the Visions a pay-to-win gacha game or not? Let's take a look at my primary account first, the one that I've put about $500 into to this point. The first thing that we're going to look at is the unit roster. At this point in time on Global, there are 44 ultra rare units in the game, 15 of which are limited units that a player was only able to get for a short period of time during a featured event. This account has 27 ultra rare units and only 4 of the 15 limited ultra rare units, which are Dwayne, Orlando, Cecil, and Thancred. This means that the account is only missing 6 of the non-limited ultra rare units available. They are Darth Stern, Glaciela, Ildira, Luartha, Nivlu, and Miranda. The fact that it's missing units like Kylo Ren Stern, Glaciela, and Ildira is disappointing. Yes, this account features Dwayne and Orlando, both units that accounted for the majority of the money I've spent, but for 5 Benjamins, you should expect to have all of the non-limited ultra rare units at your disposal. As you can see, in 300 days, I've been able to awaken and limit burst 11 ultra rare units to the max level 99, and the account features some pretty decent pieces in the aforementioned Dwayne and Orlando, who are then accompanied by maxed units like Kilfe, Ayaka, Gilgamesh, and Lucia. Let's jump to vision cards. 300 days in, and we have 37 possible ultra rare vision cards. My primary account has collected 21 of those, and features some pretty strong vision cards like Trousseau, Frederica's Dream, Scion House of Beelve, Fenrir, and Ifrit. None of them are beyond 2 stars though, which again, for dropping near $500, it is a bit of a disappointment. My primary account is missing some great vision cards like Blossoms in the Dark, Bringers of Shadow, Divine Maelstrom Leviathan, and new test subjects. Regarding Espers, there are 15 ultra rare Espers in War of the Visions right now. My primary account has 9 of them, and is missing some of the more powerful ones like Leviathan and Ramah. In terms of equipment, my primary account actually has some pretty decent gear at its disposal, with 8 non-Trust Master Reward ultra rare pieces like the Ribbon, the Royal Guard Sword, Excalibur, the Crimson Saber, and the Alexandrite Ring to play with. The account also has 11 Trust Master Reward ultra rare pieces of equipment, and 5 plus 5 mega rare pieces of equipment, which you can see are 2 Platinum Rods, 2 Nagnaroks, and a Coral Sword. Overall, my primary account is just okay. You'd hope for a lot more after dropping $500, but perhaps the RNG for pulling on this account has been well below average, but perhaps not. If you've dropped multiple Benjamins on your account, maybe let everyone know how that's translated for your account in the comments below. Now let's shift gears and look at my alternate account, the one that I've only put a $20 Play Store gift card on for the purpose of getting 40 Glaciela shards during her event. So technically, it's not a free-to-play account, but it's darn close, folks. Looking at the unit roster, this account has 28 of the possible 44 ultra rare units, which is 1 more than my primary account. It's only missing 5 of the non-limited ultra rare units, which are Saruman Stern, Gilgamesh, Skull, Luartha, and Nivlu. Like my primary account, this account has 4 limited units, being Kain, Cecil, Ramza, and Thancred. So a slight edge there to my primary account, but the overall unit roster is actually better here on my alternate account without dropping hundreds of dollars on it. Now, if you watch my Kain polls video, which used this alternate account, there was some incredibly good RNG going on there, which I'm not apologizing for obviously, but it should be noted. And while we're making notes, this account is actually about 14 days or 2 weeks behind my primary account. So it's not quite 300 days old. But even so, I've still managed to awaken and limit burst 9 ultra rare units to the max level 99, which is 2 less than my primary account. For those of you who have been following the way I've done polls for each account, you know that my primary account has been much more scattershot, while my alternate account was strictly focused on getting the trio of Viktora, Glaciela, and Kain, as well as the Demon Wall Vision card. In addition to those 3 powerful units, my alternate account also has Engelbert, Rain, and Lucia in the 99 category at its disposal, and is currently building Kilfi, Ildira, and Venera. Obviously, I'm much more happy with the unit roster on this alternate account, and I didn't have to drop a dime to get it. The Play Store gift card was given to me as a gift. Jumping over to my alternate account's vision cards, you can see that I have a fully maxed out 4-star Demon Wall, a 2-star Dashing Over a Snowy Field, which, by the way, is really awesome for my piercing units, and a 2-star Scion House of Beowulf. The notable vision cards that my alternate account is missing are pretty much the same as my primary account. And while technically this alternate account only has 16 ultra rare vision cards, which is 5 less than my primary account, the vision cards that it does have are developed much more than those on my primary account. Again, I would prefer the vision cards on this alternate account to those on my primary account. In terms of espers, I actually have more ultra rare espers on this alternative account than my primary account, but I'm missing Fenrir and Shiva, which my primary account have, so I guess I would actually prefer my primary account in this category. One of the biggest discrepancies between my primary and alternate accounts is in equipment. My alternate account is far inferior to my primary account, but I actually don't think that has anything to do with spending real money. In Final Fantasy War of the Visions, equipment is primarily a result of time put into the game. If you grind raids and towers and events really hard, you are able to get much better equipment, and in the cases of my 2 accounts, I was spending much more time grinding with my primary account for 200, maybe even 250 of the 300 days the game has been out. But since I've been able to get Kain and pair him with Glaciela, Viktora, Demon Wall, and Dashing Over a Snowy Field, however, raids have been much easier and more rewarding for this account, as it typically dominates with piercing chains. So while my alternate account is still inferior to my primary account in terms of equipment, I would guess that by the time the game is about 500 days old, this account will actually have better equipment. So let's return to our initial question. Is Final Fantasy War of the Visions a pay-to-win gacha game or not? Using my 2 accounts as evidence, I would say the answer is a resounding no. At least, not necessarily. It all still comes down to RNG, and while spending real cash on the game will get you more pulls, those pulls don't carry any guarantee that they will translate into better units, vision cards, espers, and consequently, equipment. My best advice would be, don't spend any real money on the game at all, and have a very specific focus on what exactly you want to do with your account. With my alternate account, I obviously didn't have nearly the same amount of Visor to play with, but I made that Visor much more effective by strictly limiting its spending on building a piercing team over time. So with a great deal of patience and frugality in regard to my Visor, my alternate account has turned out much better than my primary account for $500 less out of my own pocket. Let's just put it this way. I would gladly trade my primary account in for a PS5 or Xbox Series X tomorrow if I could. Let us know what kind of experience you've had with spending, light spending, or being completely free to play on your accounts. Thanks for watching, y'all, and we'll catch you next time.